Hi students, it's October 1st. This is your homework tonight. It was in your planner, assignment M1-81 and then also the backside 82. The first part says describe a way to compare two positive rational numbers, which we talked about what a rational number is. It could be a decimal, it could be a fraction, it could be a whole number, it could even be zero. But how do we compare them that are not written in the same form? Well, you would have to, if you have a decimal and a fraction like you have here, to compare them, you need to put them in the same form. Practice. Order rational numbers in each group from least to greatest. So you're looking at the first one, and I see I have a decimal, I have another decimal, and now I have a fraction. I need to change them to be all the same. I like to have mine as fractions. It's easier for me to work. So again, you're going to probably need some notebook paper extra to work these out. It's going to take a lot of room. So I would definitely make sure you have scratch paper and maybe like number them. So like I would write number 1, and I'd write 0.09. I'd write it as a fraction. In my class, I said when I taught this in 4th grade, because it's a 4th grade skill, is converting a decimal to a fraction, I would put the door right here. That black line is like a door, the fraction line. And then I would say, okay, Miss Simpson is the decimal on one side of the door, and I'm the number 1 on the other side of the door. If there are 2 digits after the decimal, so you have 1, 2, you put 2 zeros. So now we have 9 over 100. Then I would change the 0.1 by doing the same exact thing. Make your door. I would put the 1 below the decimal. I only have 1 digit, so I only need 1 0. So it's like 1 over 10. Then I have 2 over 25. So if I was using the benchmark strategy here, oops, let me see if I can move this up for you. There we go. I would say, well, 9 is pretty far from 100. So I would say, I would guess that's probably would be equal to 0. 1 over 10 is pretty far away, so I would say is also equal to 0. And 2 from 5, maybe that's a 1/2, possibly a 0. But it's kind of hard for me to use the benchmark fraction to compare these three. So maybe I would need to go to another strategy. So I think 2/5 is probably our biggest one. So I know that. He's my largest. And then I really need to look at these guys right here. How can I compare these guys? Well, you can change them and make them equivalent. So I have 9 over 100. How can I make 1/10 equal to over 100 as well? Well, this is kind of like your homework from last night. You would say 10 times what gives me 100? 10. And whatever you do at the bottom, you must do to the top. So what is 1 times 10? 10. So now I have 10 over 100 and 9 over 100. So now, if I want to be sure and make them all over 100, I can do that as well. I can change that to 5ths to also over 100. And I can do the same thing. How did 5 become 100? Times 20. Do the same thing to the top. What's 2 times 20? Which would be 40. So now I can definitely see that 2/5 is the largest. So when I go to rewrite them, you got to make sure that you put them back in the original form. So I would label it as 9, or the 9 over 100 was my smallest. So I'm going least to greatest. Don't forget to always pay attention to that. So I'd write 0.09 as my least, then 0.1, and then last but not least, we have the 2 over oh my goodness, I wrote the wrong fraction. I messed up. This was supposed to be 2 over 25. So I'm not multiplying by 20, I'm multiplying by 4. My bad. So that should be 8 over 100. Well, my goodness, that changes everything, doesn't it? So 8 over 100 is actually the smallest. I'm glad I fixed that. So we would need to write 2 over 25 first because he's equal to 8 over 100. Then I would do the 0.09 because he's equal to 9 over 100. And then I would do the 0.1 because he was equal to 10 over 100. So now I just listed number 1 in order from least to greatest. In this case, the benchmark fraction didn't help me right here. So again, remember, it's a strategy. It's not always going to work. It's only really helpful whenever your numbers are really spaced far apart and you don't have any too close numbers together. So you're going to do the same thing for all of these. As you look at 4 and 5, you notice that they're getting even larger. So yes, you're definitely going to need some scratch paper. Let me erase what I have here. And I might need to do maybe... I had to stop this video and make another one because someone's knocking.